Alright, we're back. I am so sorry for that, everyone. I'm sorry that I had to end and leave so abruptly. My BRB screen was not working as quickly as I would have liked it to, and I had very little time to do what I was about to do. And that's all I'm saying on the matter. But we're back! Hello, everyone. So I will just get a drink while we return to our regularly scheduled programming, if you will. You know, for the bit. But yeah, that was unpleasant. That's all I'll say on the matter. But looks like the stream is working. My microphone's good. So I'm just gonna get a drink. I was gone for longer than I intended to be. But it's all good. My headset is being a bit finicky. Well, not finicky, just it's not fitting on my head the way it should. There we go. That is better. Hello, everyone. We now return to our daily scheduled programming. Hello again. Wow! Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, Waluigi. Sorry I was gone for so long. Chronic illness flare-ups be like. But, all good now. All good. So what day were we on? I forgot. No worries. Cheers, dude. We were on day 4, I think. We, just talked about women healers for day 3. Yes, because it was National Signing Day. I misread it as Simping Day. Oh, that's right. I talked about that because the only non-verbal communication I could think of other than sign language is Brian and Kaz's, telepathic ability they have together. But yeah, so we did do that. So we're actually on day 5. So let's swap-a-rooney. Do the old switcheroo on our windows here. I know I could change. Should I? Actually, should I switch it? You know, like I did last time. Should I do that again? Was that good before? Oh, that's right. I would have to have the image saved, wouldn't I? Save image as. Sure, we'll just save it as that. Why not? Display settings. Transparent. Image. Select. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. This PC downloads. Where the hell is it? Why is it not there? I know the name was long, but it's just not there. Is that it? No, that's from January. What the hell? I just saved it. Save image as. Oh, because it's saved as an HTML document for some bizarre reason. Thanks. All files. Can I convert the... If I put .png, will it break? I don't know. I didn't have to do that before, so... Well, it's there as a PNG file. There we go. Oh, and it looks so nice. It looks so nice with my pink. But I will have to shrink. I don't exist anymore. Scary. We will put me to about that size. Put me down there. And then if we go about... Actually, I'll just line up to, you know what? I'll just line up to whatever question I'm on at the time. That might be a cool thing to do. Wee. Yeah, we'll just do that. Sure, why not? This is a genius idea. My head is chopped off a little bit, but it's all good. So are like most of the questions, to be fair. We'll just do that. Yay! It works. Yeah, we'll just do that. Alright. I think that's a plan. Why did it stop streaming? I didn't tell it to stop streaming that time. What the heck? Chat, what did we miss? Because I swear it said it was still streaming, like, very recently. So I don't think we missed much. But, like, literally, why did it stop streaming? Because I adjusted the window size? Was that it? That's kind of crazy. That's so crazy, actually. I'm so sorry it did that. But, yeah, it looks like we're good. It looks like it's still going. But, yeah, this is the thing I'm gonna do. I think I like this idea. Have it, like, lined up to the one I'm on. So... Question 5. February 5th is what do you focus on first or most when describing character appearance? So let's get my phone back again. I was originally gonna be ending the stream at about this time, but obviously I had to go, so that's not possible. So we'll go till like 9 p.m. and hopefully we'll be done by then. Let's get our clock and our trusty timer. And let's see, what do I focus on when I describe character appearance? Starting the timer now for 2 minutes. Alright, so this is kind of hard to answer because it's been that long since I've actually written stuff that I'm like now no longer used to recognizing my actual writing style of like how I write characters. Seeing as I no longer imagine them being in a book, I now imagine them being in like a more digital like visual format, so you'd see them anyway. But when I think about all the stuff that I've written, I think my old writing, and this seems to be, I don't know, maybe a weakness of mine, possibly, in the fact that, like, I don't know, I seem to have, like, this running thing where I think I would describe my character's appearances in the past in quite a cliche manner. I would like the main four things that I would like immediately draw attention to is clothes and skin color. The skin color thing's probably a bit weird, so maybe I wouldn't do that so much now. But clothes and hair and eyes. I used to be like quite basic and literal with it, but I think I used to like describe him in like a cliche manner. I wouldn't do that nowadays, however. But that would be like what I would focus on. Like that tends to be the first things people notice. So outfit, hair, eyes, and then like any accessories. And that is the timer up. Oh, excuse me. Excuse-moi. That's not the window I want. That is the window I want, because I need to move my butt. Is it the X of... No. It's the Y offset. Y. Wee. Yeah, I think that's nicely lined up. Splendid. I agree. Love your pet day. That's a great prompt. That's not what we're on right now, though. We are on February 6th. Free Friday. Let me get the overlay off there. We don't want that. We don't want that. But, yeah, so prompt 6 is Free Friday. So anything you want, or favorite genre to write, or a genre you'd never write. So I kind of covered this a little bit already. Let's start the timer again. 2 minutes starting now. So I said before, I'll never write time travel. That isn't like exclusively like permanently a no-go. Like I might try it someday, but for now and for the foreseeable future, I will never consider writing time travel. It's a cool genre. I find it overwhelming in multiple ways. So I'll never write that. But the genre I'm used to writing in is, I don't know what you'd count it as. I guess fantasy. I guess fantasy if we're talking like the overall grand scheme of things. But like the YA genre, like the young adult genre, that's what I tend to that tends to be my main go-to genre. So time travel, I will probably never touch with a 10-foot pole. The genre I'm most focused on is YA, young adult. I mean, my characters during all the like most important events are aged between like 15 and 25. So like basically all your teen years and like all your teen years basically. And like your early to mid 20s. That tends to be like what most of my main characters are in terms of age range. So basically YA fantasy slash contemporary is my main genre. And with 2 seconds left. Bum 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 bum. Splendid. Okay, stream is still good. Let's move me down again. So it's the Y. So left is down. Alright, so we're on 7, right? 7. I'm going to move the X offset a little bit as well. Yeah, perfect. Yes. Very good. That is where I want it. The YMCA. Thank you, Wow. The YMCA. Number 7. So this is a big one. This is a very important one. Very serious. National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. With HIV and AIDS being like so prominent in the black community, like it's like through no fault of their own. I won't go like too into that. As a white person and someone who does not have HIV and AIDS, I feel like that's not my. I feel like that's a matter of I should pass the mic to the people who should talk about, or at least know more than I do. I'm definitely no expert on these things. I'm just saying it's a very important thing that is like that I think it should reasonably be there as a prompt. So National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. So the prompt itself is race and or health diversity rep in your story. So 2 minutes starting now. Um, so because I've only got 2 minutes, this is gonna sound a bit like listy and just like, oh yeah, here's all the boxes I'm ticking. I don't want it to sound like that. Let me pause it actually. I'll pause it. I don't want it to sound like I'm just going through a checklist like, yep, I've included this. I've included this race, I've included that race, I've included this um profile of people. Like I don't want to sound like I'm going through a checklist of like people types that I'm trying to include. While this is paused on 1 minute 47, I don't want it to sound like I'm being listy or like I don't want it to sound like a diversity hire kind of thing. My stories are inclusive because other people exist. It's not a matter of like I don't want it to just be like, hey, I have these people here, because woke. As much as I like to be woke, but that's not the reason I do it. So when I start this timer again in the 1 minute 47, I have to like discuss this. I I apologize in advance if that's how it sounds. There's so much you can talk about with this category, and with me only giving myself 2 minutes per category, I'm not going to be able to do this justice. So I'm sorry that I'm not going to be able to do this prompt any kind of justice, but I'll go into as much as I can in as reasonable in like a reasonable manner. That's what I will try to do. Um, like with the diversity rep, like it is diverse because people are diverse, not because I'm like going through any kind of criteria or anything like that. So I hope it doesn't sound like that. But I am resuming the timer starting now. Um, so like I said, there's a bunch of diversity in my stories because diverse people exist from like all walks of life. You know, that's always been the case. So yeah, I have lots of people from a bunch. I have lots of characters from a bunch of races and backgrounds. So the main characters, I will be upfront, they are white. The two protagonists are white characters. Um, and as far as the other main characters go, in terms of like immediate important, okay, well, everyone's important, but like of immediate, like how relative they are to the main characters. Um, Isabella, the main female protagonist, her best friend Natalia is a black girl. She is African American, and um, and Natalia's cousin, two pairs of cousins, why not? Natalia's cousin, one of her cousins anyway, um, is Noseda Achabe, and she's mixed, but she has Mexican heritage and a bit of African American heritage as well. There are only 8 seconds left. I'm so sorry. I will stop this. I will delete the timer. I'll talk like a little bit more about it because I feel like it's important. Um, but I will just talk about those main 4 characters. Well, those main 2 characters specifically. But Nadalia Hayden, she is of African American heritage. As are like all of her family, like extended and otherwise. The reason Noseda is her cousin, or one of her cousins, she is so family tree wise. I have to like picture this in my head. So, Nadalia's father, um, has an older brother called Bruno Hayden. Of course, his surname's the same because that's the paternal name, the Hayden family. Um, and now Bruno Hayden has been married twice and divorced twice, and his second wife is Chiara Achebe, the same surname that Noceda has. Um, Achebe was her maiden name. She was Chiara Hayden for a while, but she isn't anymore. Um, they are happily divorced now. But Chiara, being Nadalia's um, paternal aunt through marriage, so her dad's sister-in-law, so her dad's brother's wife. Now Chiara, coming from the Achebe family, her older brother is Manuel Achebe. And Manuel Achebe is Noceda's father. So Manuel's actually Noceda's dad. So that makes them cousins because Noceda's aunt Chiara, her paternal aunt, is also Nadalia's paternal aunt, but through marriage. They're just on like the other sides. So Noceda is Chiara's niece through her brother, whereas Nadalia is her niece through her husband. So they're on other sides of the tree, but they are both related through Chiara. So they're not blood cousins. They're not cousins by blood. They were cousins because Noceda's auntie married Nadalia's uncle. That's the simple answer for it. So they're not cousins anymore, but that never stopped them from considering themselves cousins, almost sisters, basically. They still consider each other family, which why wouldn't they at the end of the day? The Achebe family, they have some African American heritage and a bit of Mexican heritage as well. The Achebes are mixed. And Noceda's mother, I don't remember what her maiden name is, unfortunately. I know that I called her Sophia. But she is from a fully Mexican family. So Noceda has a Mexican mom and an African American dad that also has a bit of Mexican heritage. At least as far as I'm aware, anyway. I haven't, fully decided if Manuel and Chiara are going to have Mexican heritage. They are at least African American. At the very least. There may be other stuff mixed in there, but Sophia comes from a fully Mexican family, and the Haydens are a fully African American, a fully black family. So there's some mixture of race in there, but Nadalia and Noceda are both black. Nadalia is darker than Noceda. Noceda is what people would call light-skinned, but she is still a person of color. She is still a woman of color, as they would call her. So they are both brown women. That are very important characters to Isabella, and they're not just there to they're not there to advance Isabella's plot or anything. They're there because they are her loved ones and she cares about them. Because I know that some writers may get accused of including characters of color and black characters and multiracial characters because quote unquote woke, and it's just like, oh, they're just there to be the white person's support, and the white person's there to be the white savior complex kind of thing, and like that's not what's going on in my story. Like, they've just been friends forever, they care about each other. Like, it's not that their races don't matter, because like race does matter. um but that doesn't like fuck with their friendship or anything. So Nadalia and Noseda, or Nadi and Seda, or Nadi and Sadie, sometimes as they are called, um, they are Issa's closest friends. Nadali's been her best friend forever. They are the BFFs, and she got to know Seda through Nadalia, and they consequently become love interests later on. Um, whereas Josh, he also has a love interest, but she is white. Um, so yeah, there's like a bunch of characters of like different races and social classes and stuff. And I knew I wouldn't be able to cover all of this in 2 minutes, but I feel like they're the most important ones to discuss in that, like, in terms of that prompt. Um, but yeah, Nadalia comes from the Hayden family, who are black African American, and Noseda comes from also a black African American family mixed with Mexican family. Um, so yeah, I don't know what else to really say, but the prompt does also say health diversity rep, and I don't know how much to answer on that half of the prompt without big spoilers. But what I can say in terms of health diversity rep, or like just physiological rep in general, um, what I can say that isn't really spoilers. I mean it is technically, but it's not like serious spoilers. It doesn't spoil anything in the story per se. It's not like a secret that she hides as such. It's more like she just doesn't know right away. But Noseda is actually intersex. So I believe I showed her before. I may have shown her commission art before of like her pride art and stuff. I do not remember if I did, but I am going to try to find her now. Just in case. I don't know where the search bar is on PC Discord. It's like not there for some reason. Which is very bizarre, because like how am I supposed to search users? Okay, well I found the user anyway. There we go, splendid. Marvelous. Okay, so we can switch windows now. Stream's still good. Discord. There she is. There is Noseda. Isabella's love interest. As you can see by the pride she is displaying, she is wearing a bisexual pride witch hat. Both she and Issa are both bisexual. Noseda more openly so. Issa doesn't really think about it that much. But like when she is made to think about it and talk about it, she's like, yeah, I guess I like guys and girls. I've never really thought about it before. But if she were to choose like an identity, she'd be like, yeah, I'm bisexual. That sounds very much like me. And Noseda's like, snap, same. Um, so as you can see, she's repping that bi pride, but she is intersex also, hence the intersex flag in the staff there, which is really cool. Now it's not my business to discuss her body or like her genitalia or anything. That's nobody's business at the end of the day. Much the same as I wouldn't discuss my cis characters' bodies and genitalia, I wouldn't describe my trans character's body and genitalia unless there was a specific conversation opened up to talk about that. But the fact that these characters start off at like 14, 15 years old, obviously I'm not going to talk about that. Like, like especially not in terms of like their younger selves. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like there's nothing like it's not so much the discussing children's bodies that is like a problem. It's just I don't want. It's not that I'm like sexualizing their bodies or anything, because you should never sexualize children's bodies. Um, but at the same time, they are growing adolescents, and like they do have their own sexualities, and like a bunch of the characters like do grow up and have sex when they're still like relatively young. Obviously, I wouldn't write that or show that, but like I don't know. It's hard to really pinpoint what it is I'm saying. I know what I want to say, but it's the fact that like I would only discuss their bodies if it was in terms of like anatomy and stuff and like physiological stuff. But when would that conversation ever come up? Like, why would people want to know about that? Like, why would people want to know, like, what's in my character's pants at the end of the day? That's where it starts, like, borderlining sexual to me, and I don't want to, like I said, yeah, they are growing into young adults, and they become sexual characters anyway, but I want to treat that with the caution and maturity that it deserves. I don't want to just be like, oh, here's some kid characters. Oh, well, now they're older and fucking each other. Like, that's so disrespectful and gross. You know what I mean? Like, and obviously, when it comes to LGBT matters, like, that doesn't have to be sexualized. Being LGBT isn't inherently sexual. Um, this is what we keep trying to say whenever there's LGBT rep in kids shows and stuff. Um, the like conservatives and stuff oh it's like hey stop sexualizing children. Like, we're not. Like, they just exist, and they have bodies, and they have brains, and like the whole human package. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I want to treat it. I don't want to treat these characters as inherently sexual or mature characters. Like, I don't want to treat their stories as adulterated. They will become adults later, and then maybe in some side branch offs of the story, then yeah, maybe we can talk about that kind of stuff then. But the actual main events of the story aren't about like their sexual endeavors or anything like that. Like, that's not to say that there's no sex in the story, it's no sexual stuff, but like, I don't know, does that make any sense? I feel like I'm trying to like dig myself out of a hole that doesn't really exist or shouldn't exist. I don't know how to explain it, but like, what I'm trying to say is these kids, my characters, all grow up and they're all predominantly LGBT, and they don't have to be treated in a sexualized manner um un- unless and only until they are in a sexualized context when they are older. What I'm saying is, yes, I have this intersex character, but it's not my business to discuss what parts she does and doesn't have. Because, like, that's no one's business unless, like, there was an actual conversation opened up specifically for that. Um, I don't want people to be weird over my characters. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to be weird over my characters, so I don't want other people to be weird over my characters. Like, yeah, there will later come times where the context of sexuality and like specifically that kind of sexuality, not like orientation, like the other kind of sexuality, um, and like mature themes. There'll be topics of that do come up in the story, and then maybe the conversation might be relevant then. But until then, it's like no one's business what's in any of my characters' pants or what they're doing with the stuff in their pants. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I hope I explained that sufficiently because there was no way I was going to get through all of that in 2 minutes. And I refuse to even try to cover all that in 2 minutes. It's not possible. Um, but as you can see, this is the beautiful Noseda Achabe, um, who, as she goes through puberty, learns that she is intersex, and she's like, huh, okay, cool. Well, I'm still a girl. She doesn't identify as trans. She was never assigned any other gender at birth. She was assigned female at birth. Um, and she was raised and socialized a girl. And she's cool with that. She's like, yeah, I am a girl. I'm a bit of a tomboy, but I'm still a girl. And she's cool with that. Like, there's no shame in her being intersex or any shame in her body or her gender or her sexuality. And there shouldn't be at the end of the day. But yeah, as you can see, like, Noseda's like a big part in like the racial and like health diversity rep because like look at her. She is not a white woman. She is a beautiful brown woman who is proud of that fact, who comes from multiple walks of life, multiple cultures, is intersex and is bi, and she's proud of all of that, and no one can take that away from her at the end of the day. Which is why she's like so important to like discuss in terms of that category, in terms of that prompt. Like, yeah, Nadalia too, but she doesn't have like any health or physiological thing going on, as far as I know. She's just a black girl and she's very gay. She's just a very proud black lesbian. And that's cool as well. Good for her. Honestly, good for her. And I am proud of all my characters and their races and cultures and their health. And yeah, there are disabled people as well, and like there are characters who are deaf, and there are characters who are autistic, and in like specifically to this prompt, I won't say who, but there are characters, none of the main characters, background characters. There is a background character with HIV, and they are all very important and valid and beautiful people with important issues to discuss. But that is all I will say on that prompt because there was no way I was gonna rush through that. That I had to like take step by step. So yeah, sorry that went on so long. It is 9 p.m. already. I was supposed to be ending by now. We are not even. Oh my god. Okay, we need to go back to 2 minute timers like right now. Um. The stream was going till 8, then till half 8. Now it's 9. We're extending it again. Yay! Anyway, don't worry about it. We are going to question 8. Splendid. It stopped streaming again. What is going on? I've been checking that constantly. And it said stop streaming. And then I tapped out, to move my avatar, and then as soon as I typed back in, it said start streaming. So I think that like just happened. I'm pretty sure that just happened. Cause I have been checking that shit like a hawk. So if that did happen a while ago, then OBS is straight up lying to me. I'm very sorry that the stream exploded again. I don't know why it did that. I don't know why it did that, but if you missed anything, the VOD will go up on my YouTube. Both VODs will go up on my YouTube. So I apologize for the explosion. Again, I don't know why OBS decides that exiting, well, not exiting, but I don't know why OBS decides that tabbing out of OBS means stop stream, because that's not what it means, and it needs to cut that shit out. But hopefully you didn't miss anything important. As far as I'm aware, I have the video footage of all of that. So anyway, day number 8, and we're gonna go back to our 2-minute timers because we spent so long on day 7, which was worth it. That was important, and I needed to do that. But we're going back to the 2-minute timers now, because oh my god, we are so behind schedule right now. Alright, so day 8, Super Bowl Sunday. Are there any sports mentioned in your story? You know what? I'm not even going to start a timer for that because that's a very short, quick answer anyway. Yes, my characters do participate in sports sometimes. I don't have any specific invented ones. I will get back to you on that if I invent any fantasy sports in that universe. But other than that, no, it's just the same sports we have in our universe. Just all the same regular stuff. All I will say is that Avery, Bran's daughter, she has a younger adopted sister called Maria, and she's very much into sports. She does quite a lot of different sports. But she is really into ice hockey, and yeah, I won't go through all of them because that'll take forever. But she's really into ice hockey, and I'll say like a couple others. What else is she into? She really likes things that involve skating around. So ice hockey with the ice skating. She likes roller skating. She likes skateboarding. Give her a set of wheels and she's set. You know? She's a bit of a wheelie girl. So yeah, we'll just settle it on that. That took less than 2 minutes. Oh god, question 9. Oh my god. Okay, I'll give it a try. I'll give it an attempt. Pitch your story. Hold on, I need to move my fairy again. Okay, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. It says stop streaming. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. I'm going to Viado now. Display settings. Move me down to about there. Go back to OBS. Okay, we're still live. Good. Alright, let me give this an attempt. Pitch your story. Okay. As a romantic or friendship comedy. I don't know how to do the comedy part. I'm not funny. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, let's give this a try. It's 2 minutes starting now. In a world. I don't know how to start it. Welcome to this world of magic and science, and maybe even a little bit of religion, and a whole lot of love and friendship, as these two wacky youngins, Isabella and Joshua Michaels, go to magic school and make friends and fall in love. No, I'm embarrassed. I don't want to continue this anymore. I've made it awkward. I'm sorry. I'm stopping the timer. I'm deleting the timer. I've become self-conscious. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I mean, it is romance and friendship anyway. I don't know how to do the comedy part. Like, there'll be comedy parts. There'll be funny parts in it, but I don't really want to. Yeah, I don't know what to really I don't know what to say and do for that prompt. Meet Natalia, a lesbian who hates men because she's a misandrist and she's based. I'm joking. She doesn't hate men. She, she doesn't hate them per se. She's just not a fan of them. And her girlfriend, no, uh, no, I'm gonna stop there. That is too much. That's too much spoilers. Yeah, she gets a girlfriend. Deal with it. Anyway, moving on. Question 10. I'm not gonna move my character for that. And I'm not gonna set a timer for that because I can just very easily answer that. Is your main character a heartbreaker? No. Literally neither of them are. Like, if either of them were gonna be a heartbreaker, like if one of them really had to be, it would be Josh, but he's not a heartbreaker. He wouldn't do that. He's too much of a gentleman. Like, as much as he is silly and a bit of a dumbass sometimes, he wouldn't actually, like, he cares about people more than he likes to admit. He tries to act like he's cool, like, quote unquote cool, and doesn't care about how people feel, but he does. He's a big softy. She loves men, but prefers to see it as a love relationship. Yes, exactly. You get it. Shaking your hand. Shaking your hand, dude. You get it. Splendid. Okay, you're not gonna be able to see, like, the other questions. So I'm just gonna switch it back to the other window so that you can. Yay. Alright. What do we have for the next category? National Inventors Day. A description of you, your character's favourite invention. How the fuck should I know? I probably should think about that though, shouldn't I? Yeah, favourite invention is the dildo. I'm kidding! I'm joking, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I mean, all I will say on the matter is that, like, with it being, like, a more modernized version of the 80s with, like, influences of 90s, noughties, and even some 2010s technology, they are very grateful for the technology and inventions that they have. Because they have phones and computers. And they can call each other, and they can call their friends on more than just landlines. So they're grateful for that, because we didn't have that back in the 80s. I mean, we had phones, but like, I don't know, it was nothing like what we've got now. Like what they've got now at that point, well, what they've got at that point in time, it's not what we have now. Floppy disk drives, yeah, it's like you can clearly tell it's set in the 80s. It's got a lot of technology and pop culture of the 80s, but like it's got the advancement of like the late 2000s and early 2010s when like smartphones were just starting to become a thing. Like they don't quite have smartphones yet, but they're getting to that point. So they're like very grateful that they have like, and like you got to think there's like magic involved as well. So it's going to be slightly different anyway. So it's kind of technologically advanced. Yeah, exactly. It's like the reason I like it so much is because it's a parallel to our own world. It is at any given point in the story, at any given point in history, um, and it will be different on each aspect of culture. So it won't be consistent. It'll be kind of a conglomeration of things. But at any given point in history, in this timeline, in this story, we'll have aspects of technology and culture that are anywhere from current to that time, anywhere up to like 20 to 30 years ahead. So like the 70s will have all the iconic 70s stuff, but it'll have some 80s and 90s stuff. And it won't be like it won't be quite exactly the same for like each year, and it won't be the exact same number for everything. It'll be quite higgledy piggledy. It'll be kind of a mishmash of things. It's kind of a historical mess, and I love that because that's intentional. It's supposed to be a historical mess. There's magic and technology, so it's kind of its own thing. Um, but like at the beginning of the main events of the story, when you're talking like the mid 1980s, I would say technologically they're about up to like where we were in about like 2010, I would say, give or take, is what I would say. More or less, neither here nor there. A few things a bit further, a few things a bit further back. I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's a bit of a pish posh of things, but I like it like that. I like it like that. Ah, my foot's dead. That's not good. Anyway, yeah, that's um yeah, in terms of like their inventions, like they are very grateful to have the technology and inventions and cultural impacting stuff that they have as early on as they do, especially if they like knew how far back we were in comparison. They'd be like, "Oh wow, like yeah, we have all that stuff too, but like we have other stuff too." Like they don't seem to like move on from things as like a temporary fad as much. Like they do, but not anywhere near as much as we do. Like things take a lot longer to go obsolete in that universe. Things don't really get made to replace things, they just get made on top of things. They get made on top of stuff to like, just add a bit more. Oh, first time chat, Sharon Barr. Hey, what's up? How are you doing today? Oh, thank you so much. Welcome on in, Sharon. Hello, hello. Give me a second. I've got a very itchy nose. It is super itchy. Welcome in, Sharon. You're welcome. Okay, I'm like 99.9% sure you're not a bot, so that's good. That is a relief. Um, that is good. I'm glad you're doing well. Um, but yeah, that's what I like so much about my stories universe. It's like it's not an obsoletist kind of culture until it like really has to be. They don't like to replace stuff. They just like to add on top of it. They're not like, hey, here's the next new thing. Get rid of all your old shit. They're just like they realize the sentimentalism of uh they they're more sentimental than our culture. How long have you been streaming? Today or in general? Um, Today a couple hours, but the stream kept exploding. So, at this exact current point in time, this portion of the VOD is 53 minutes in. Um, Streaming tonight overall, it's been a couple hours. Streaming in general, I've been streaming for well, apparently like 5 years, but I've not. I did go on a really long hiatus, so because I started streaming again like earlier this year, and I hadn't streamed since like February 2021, I think. So I had like a 5 year hiatus. I see. Actually, I love this type of stuff, so I'm exploring. We'll play it, lol. Alright, good, good, good. You are more than welcome here. Um, so yeah, that is good. Um, so yeah, that would be my answer to that question. Um, what question are we on now? 12. National Freedom to Marry Day. Queer joy and or queer love in your story? Well, yeah, absolutely. I don't even need to put a timer on for that. That is also a very short answer. Yes, queer love everywhere. Like, all the time. Viewers. Okay, that one is a bot. So that one is getting banned. Timeout, ban. Get banned, because you're obviously a bot. So do you stream every day? No, I stream. You caught me at a good point actually, because I stream twice a week. But I went a couple weeks where I just forgot to stream, and this is actually my first day back from my little mini break of forgetting to stream. I was streaming on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I still will, but this is my first week back. This is my first Tuesday back, and you actually get a bonus stream this week because I'm gonna do a stream on Thursday as well. Understandable, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do a Stardew stream on Thursday for the 10th Stardew anniversary. I do like to play Final Fantasy VII original these days. Used to do digital art streams and VTubing stuff. Oh, that's wonderful. That's very exciting. I am also a VTuber. Ta-da! That's me. I did not make this avatar. That was made by Worm on a String. Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm very happy with how it turned out. It is very splendid. But I'm just showing like the full version for now because the background version on Viado doesn't show all the questions. How about you? Which games do you like? Do you mostly play? Mostly Stardew and Animal Crossing. Though in terms of like streaming, I think I've only played Stardew on stream, like game wise, as far as I can remember. Anyway, because I need to figure out how to stream on a capture card. I've got a capture card for my Switch, but I don't know where it is. It is at my fiance's house somewhere, and we do not know where it is, but it exists and we have it. I was watching your stream. Your PNG setup and expressions are really cute and expressive. Oh, thank you so much. I really love it. Worm did a really fantastic job. I will put his. I'll actually put his link in the chat. I'll put his VGen link in the chat. You don't have to like. I'm not like telling you, hey, go throw money at him. Because, like, it's your money, you do what you want. But if you are interested in any commissions from this guy, if you're at least interested in checking out his artwork, this is its VGen. That link should work anywhere. I don't know what commissions it has open at the moment. Because I don't commission him anymore. Nothing like not because of anything he has done. It is because it's a long story. I won't go into that. All I will say is we do not talk anymore. He kicked me out. Through no fault of his own, I take full responsibility for it. I think he's a great guy, and I wish him the best. But that is all I will say on the matter. We do not talk anymore, and I'm not gonna bring up any of that old stuff. It's not my place to discuss. At the end of the day, as long as he's doing all right, which is, as far as I'm aware, it is. But yeah, that is Tiny Worm, known as Worm on a String, or Tiny, or just Worm. Tiny's pronouns are he/it. Much like my pronouns are he/they. So I'm he, they. Worm is he, it. We are both openly trans guys. And he's very cool, and it does really good art. And just because I can't commission him anymore doesn't mean that other people can't. I'm sure it is more than open to welcoming new customers to do art for. I'm sure there's probably some kind of commission open at the moment. Maybe not. His commissions might be closed at the moment. I do not know. Um, but yeah, Tiny's a streamer, Worm on a String on Twitch.tv, and yeah, I hope that they're doing all right. I'm sure that it is. I'm sure that he's all good. And would you like to see some of my VTubers stuff? I would love to, but not right now, because then I will get like really distracted, and then I'll like kind of forget what I'm doing and get distracted from the stream. But if you want to follow, like if you like are on Blue Sky or anything, you're more than welcome to follow me on Blue Sky and hit me up there. Um, I'll put my Blue Sky link in the chat. So like it's not a no, it's nothing personal. I'm not like telling you to like bug off or anything. I'm like more than happy to check your stuff out. Just not right now this second. With the can you drop Blue Sky link? Yep, I am doing that now. Is Blue Sky lyrical Luke start social. I think it's that. Let me double check. Let me get my phone. Where did I put my phone? I'm gonna double check I've definitely typed the link correct first. But yeah, just as long as you don't like spam me on there, then you're more than welcome to at least follow me. Oh yeah, I typed that way wrong. Yeah, I typed that like incredibly wrong. Hold on. Let me try that again. Lyrical Luke dot Blue Sky dot social. I had all the right words. They were just all in the wrong order. But that should be my link. That should take you to Lyrical Luke Blue Sky social / Lyrical Miracle 9608 with a nice 30 Sylveon profile picture. I just remembered Worm's VGen is in my bio anywhere as like credit for the model, because the model is usually my profile picture. But my profile picture is the Sylveon for now to like celebrate 30 years of Pokemon, which is most splendid. But yeah, you can follow me on there or not. I'm not your dad. I won't tell you what to do. But your enthusiasm is appreciated, and I'm sure I will check out your stuff at some point. It is lovely to have you here, and you are welcome. You are welcome to my streams anytime, as long as you are on your best behavior, as is the rule for everyone else as well. So really appreciate it. Thank you very much. We will get back onto the topic of discussing and yapping about my OCs. Because we're only like at day 10 and we're meant to go through like 24 days. So that's going about as well as it looks like. Yeah. But right now, social here is my Blue Sky. Thank you very much. I will copy that to my clipboard. And I will check that out. I follow you, give me a follow back. Well, I won't follow people if they just like tell me to follow them. I will check out your Blue Sky first and then act like from there. Like, it's not a no, it's just a not right now. But yeah, don't like it's nothing personal, just like don't like tell people to follow you, just like ask politely and like go from there. But it's not a no. I will at least check you out. You seem very nice. Yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter. I hope I don't sound like I'm being a jerk or anything. Just you know, boundaries and stuff. Alright, it was day 12 we're on, right? Because we did Inventors Day. Yeah, it was 12. National Freedom to Marry Day. Queer joy and a queer love in your story. Oh, wait, we did that. Because my answer was basically just yes. I don't want to, like, spoil too much on that. But, yeah, two of my, well, four of my main characters end up with. Well, five of my main characters end up with a girlfriend. And most of those characters are girls themselves. Um, one of those characters, well, one of my characters, rather, I should say. I won't say who, but one of my characters, at least one of my characters, has two moms. There are multiple characters with gay parents. Like, it's just very gay and fabulous everywhere. Love wins. That's all I will say on that. It's very much love wins. As long as you put in the effort and communication and work things out as a team, then love wins. That's that's what it's all about, baby. So yeah, that's my answer to National Freedom to Marry Day. Number 13 is another Free Friday, for it was in fact Friday 13th. Nothing unlucky happened to me that day. I was at my fiance's house, so I got to have nice snuggles and smooches with my wife. So that was very nice. And we get another Friday 13th this month. So that's exciting. So I hope that is a lucky day for you all and not an unlucky day. Unlucky for some, but not everyone. So, day 13, Free Friday. Or have you written anything that surprised you? Or you went back to and said, wow, I wrote that? Yeah, good and bad. I read some stuff I wrote about a year or two ago and I was like, this is cringe. um but that's all I'll say on that because I don't really remember any particular examples other than just the stuff I cringed myself with about a year back when I was doing a November writing challenge. And I was like, God, I wrote this. The dialogue is so bad. I was like, no, this sucks, dude. But I'm sure there'll be stuff that, because I keep 99% of my stuff. I'm sure if I read back on some of my stuff, I'll impress myself. Just, I tend to cringe at my older stuff. But that's a good sign, because that means you're improving. If you look at your older stuff and you cringe, that's good, because then that means you've made progress since then. You can never be perfect. There is always room to get better, and I think that's beautiful. But that's all I'll say on the Free Friday, because that's all I really can say. But we're finally on the other side. We're finally on the B side now. Let's go. So 14, Valentine's Day. Ooh, Pink Triangle Day and Valentine's Day. Are there any forbidden relationships in your story? Oh boy, I'm putting the timer on this one because, oof. 2 minutes starting now. I'm not going to get into too much spoiler territory, but there is a character, a background character, not one of the main cast, actually a family member of one of the main supporting cast. Bear in mind, I have a very large supporting cast, so that doesn't really narrow it down very much. Because my main cast plus the supporting cast comes to about, God, I don't know, about 8, 9, maybe 10 people. So not the 4 main characters, but one of the main supporting cast has a sibling, and I will be intentionally vague about this. And this isn't something I endorse, by the way. This isn't something I'm going to promote in my writing. This is bad. This isn't a good thing. So, content warning right now, it's not appropriate stuff. But there is a character that is a family member of our main supporting character who later on, in like kind of the middle of the events of the story, so like in the late 1980s. Now, this character is only 15 years old at the time and ends up in a secret relationship with a guy in his early 20s. That is not good. That is not okay. Um, and that's not that character's fault. Like, this guy's just a shithead. He's not a good guy. He clearly takes advantage of this character. That is the one forbidden relationship that I have. There are other relationships that are like morally grey, but that one is forbidden. That one's a bad ship, and it is not permanent, thank God. And there goes the timer. But yeah, I just wanna clarify, it is not a romantic relationship that is presented as like, oh yay, young love. No, it's just not appropriate. It is predatory and it is not cool. Um, and and the guy does get punished for it because he's a dick and he deserves to be punished for it. And the 15-year-old, they'll be okay. They will be okay, I promise. Um, but yeah, that is my answer to the forbidden relationship thing. Cause like, yeah, there are some relationships that are like a bit, should they, shouldn't they? Like, you would question it at first, but like actual like forbidden wise, like actual inappropriate relationships, that one. But that's the only one. Like 90, like, okay, well maybe not 90, that's a stretch. Like, at least 75% of the relationships I write are wholesome. That's what I'll say on that matter. Um, then number 15, Aromantic Spectrum Awareness Week begins. How much of a role does romance play in your story? So I will put a timer on this because I will yap forever if I don't, and it will not be good. And we'll be here forever and ever and ever. Um, Timer has begun now. So romance is very important to my story, but in the sense that it is not essential. It is not a requirement. And that is because of the aromantic thing. I myself am on the aromantic spectrum, which feels weird to say because I am quite a romantic person, but I'm demi-romantic, which is on the aromantic spectrum. So, like, by technicality, yes, I am aro. It just feels weird to call myself aro, even though I am there somewhere. But I'm on the ace spectrum and the aro spectrum. I'm grey sexual. I'm demi-romantic. So that is very important to me. Not every character finds romance. And that's okay. There are plenty of aromantic characters that are happy to be by themselves. And there's some aromantic characters that, like, it takes them a while to figure out that they are aromantic. And they put themselves through some, like, not great stuff to try and quote unquote fix or solve themselves, but like the whole point is that there's nothing to fix or solve. They can just be happy with other kinds of love and other kinds of relationships. So yes, romance is beautiful and important to my story. It's quite central to the story. There are a lot of romantic relationships in there, but there are also a lot of relationships that are not inherently romantic. And a lot of different kinds of love displayed in the story, and none of them are any more or less than the other. All forms of love and relationship are valid. Um, and we did that with like 5 seconds to spare. Um, yeah, literally, I was just thinking about an aromantic character of mine today, actually, who like she never dates or gets married, but she adopts a baby. She adopts a daughter, and that is like one of the most important relationships to her, the mum and daughter relationship. And She's perfectly happy to be a single mom, and she makes it work. And she's very cool, and we love her for that. And like her daughter grows up to not be aromantic. She grows up to be. I mean, she grows up into a lesbian, and she gets a wife, and she's happy and supportive of that. She's like, yeah, good for you. As long as you're happy, then like, what the fuck does it matter? You know what I mean? Um. So yeah, she's very cool. I haven't given. Well, I have. I've given her a working name, but I haven't got a final name yet. So far, I've been calling her Katie. I don't know if I will though. Like at the end of it all. But that's her name for now. Her name is Katie, and her adopted daughter is called Mabel. And they're very cool, and I like them. But that's all I will say on the romantic and aromantic spectrum category. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. That was day 15. So day 16, found family in your story. I mean, I just kind of covered that a little bit, actually, with the adopted thing. But also, yeah, like every main character and main supporting cast character considers each other family. They are the found family of the story. That's the entire point. So like that's the main answer. That is the main primary answer to that category. But I'll start a 2-minute timer to discuss another example of found family. So the 2 minutes have started now. So yes, my main my main 7 to 10 characters, well 8 to 10 characters, are all found family. Some are literal family, but they're all found family in their own right. But one of those characters, Avery, who I mentioned before, the daughter of Bran, the guidance counselor, who is best friends with the mythical being Kaz, who is the healer from the earlier question. Um, so Avery has a big family. She was an only child at first. Um, she was the first child of Bran and his wife Erin, who is sadly departed now. She is no longer with us. Rest in peace. But Avery's mom and dad, they got married, and then they had her a couple years later, and it's like, great, we've got a baby. This is wonderful. Both excellent parents, and then they had a son a few years later, and then another son a few years later, and then they ended up adopting a bunch of kids through like very unexpected circumstances. But now they are a family of. So now Bran's kids are two twins, um, a a girl and a cis girl and a trans guy, who are fraternal. Okay, it doesn't feel right to call them fraternal twins, but it doesn't feel right to call them identical twins either. It's a complicated situation that I will not go into. But the twins, shit, I have 20 seconds left. We got the twins, the girl and the guy, then going down in age. So they were born in 67. Avery was born in 1970. Then her brother Ray was born in 1973. We're just gonna stop that timer. It's running out now. But we've more or less finished the answer anyway. So the twins from 67. Bear in mind, Bran and Erin got married in 68. But like they didn't meet or adopt the twins until they were like about 8 years old. So that's why like yeah, the twins are older than their marriage, but like they didn't know they were like they didn't know them yet. But you had Bran and Erin. They got married in 68. They had Avery in 1970, and they had Ray in 1973, and then they had currently unnamed son in like 76 or 77, maybe, or it might have been 79. I can't remember. It was with like somewhere in the last few years of the 70s. And then later on they adopted. So at the beginning of the story, when the story starts, which is set in 1985. because that's when the main events of the story start. So in autumn of 1985, at that point in the story, the adopted twins are 17, almost 18. Well, they turn 18 that fall. They are turning 18. Avery is 15. And then I'll let you all do the rest of the math. But between the two boys, there is another sibling. There's Maria, who I think I mentioned earlier. But Maria is the younger sibling of the twins, biologically speaking. But it's kind of complicated how to quite pinpoint what they are, but like without huge spoilers. But for the sake of simplicity and technicality, those three are siblings. And Maria was born in 1974. So there is a 6 and a bit year difference between the twins and Maria. And all three of them were adopted together. So they were about like 8 or so, and Maria was only a toddler. So like that's all she's ever known. So Bran and Aaron adopted the three of them together. They're like, we're not going to separate twins, and we're not going to separate them from their little sister. Like, we're not going to do that. So they adopted the three of them at the same time. So Avery was like living with her two baby brothers, and all of a sudden she had two older twin siblings and then a younger sister. But she was okay with that. She was very cool with it, and she was very happy with it. In fact, she was like, the more the merrier, honestly. She's never begrudged having siblings. Like, she was happy as an only child, but then she was happier when she got siblings. She's very cool like that. So, like, that very much is a sense of, like, found family in the fact that Bran and Aaron found the twins and Maria. And that they found their family in Bran and Aaron and their kids, and they got adopted, and they are just as much part of that family as anyone else is. And Bran will not hear otherwise. They are his babies. All of those kids, whether they are from his genes or not, they are all his kids. He is their dad, and he is proud to have that family that he loves very much. We love Bran. He's such a good dad. Anyway, before I start like gushing and crying about how much I love Bran and how much of a good dad he is, let's move on to the next category. Because I could yap all day about how much I love that man. 17 random acts of kindness day. How kind do you tend to write characters? And you know, we were just talking about Maria actually. And you know what February 17th is? That's Maria's birthday. She just had her birthday. As a matter of fact, so did Isabella. The very main character. I can't believe I didn't mention that when we got to that category. When we got to day 13, that is Isabella's canon birthday. Her birthday is February 13th, which was the, what was that again? When I was talking about cringe. Gotcha. When we was talking about like reflecting on all the writing, that was Issa's birthday. And February 17th is Maria's birthday! Yippee! So Josh and Issa have both turned... I mean, in our day, in the current year of 2026, they are now both 55. Maria, on the 17th, turned... well, -3, because 74. Yeah, so 52. She just turned 52. Hooray! I can math. Anyway. Yeah, so Maria's birthday, February 17th. How kind do you tend to write characters? Pretty damn kind. I'll start the timer again. Here we go. 2 minutes starting now. So, a good 90% of my characters are some sort of good alignment. They're not all the same, but most of my characters try their best to be as kind as they can. Obviously, there are some characters that are shady and don't care too much about being kind, and there are just some straight up evil characters that are just not forgivable. But that's very far and few in between. I think there are only about 3 characters in total so far that are just beyond forgiveness. But most of my characters are as kind as their situations allow to be. But Bran is a cinnamon roll. He's the kindest person in the world. I mean, and Avery is too. She definitely gets it from her dad. Like, he's the kindest guy in the world. She's the kindest girl in the world. They are just cinnamon rolls. And now Kaz has a funny situation because she's kind of a bitch sometimes. But that doesn't mean she isn't kind. There's a difference between being nice and being kind. She doesn't have any time for being nice. She won't sugarcoat shit. She won't always try to comfort people. Like, she will to the best of her ability, but if she doesn't see the point, then she's like, okay, I don't want to be nice. Like, she is nicer than she was in the past because of Bran. Bran has had that effect on her. He has brought out her nicer side, but she is still tough when she needs to be. That isn't to say she isn't kind, because she does care about people, and she will show her care and love in ways that matter. That was perfectly timed to the timer, actually. And that may be one of my favourite questions and answers, because Bran and Kaz have such a contrast in personality. You'd be like, why on earth are they best friends? But they just work so well because they have this. They care about the same things. Then, like, they get each other. They just get each other, and yeah, they they are both kind in very different ways. Kaz is very much kill them with kindness kind of thing. Bran is just the nice, very traditional, precious, wholesome definition of kind. But that isn't to say he should be tested. He's not to be taken advantage of. He knows when not to be kind. He's not to be taken for a fool. He's naive, but he is not gullible. He's not an idiot. He is kind because he's just like that as a person, and he chooses to be. And I like writing kind characters. They're my favorite kind. Favorite kind to write. Anyway, on to the next one. So, one of my kinds 18. I think that can. Yeah, we've got 18 on the. Yeah. We can move my fairy up. Let me switch back. Do a little switcheroo. Okay, stream's still good. VOD's still good. Let's actually. How do I flip my character? I actually forgot how to do that. I did flip my character before. I don't remember how. Whoa, that's not it at all. Yeah, that isn't it. Okay, I'll just shrink myself then. We'll just be very itty bitty small. Itty bitty small. I just blend so nicely with the pink. Everything is pink. Yay. Yeah. That lines up with 18 and 19, so I'll just leave that as it is. I look so tiny. I'm so small now. But I forgot how to flip my character, so, shrug. So, Description of day 18. We're nearly there. We're so close, chat. We're so close. Description of how much self-love your characters have. Um, so this is a really interesting question that I am excited to answer. Timer starts now. Um, so the definition of self-love with my characters evolves over time. Because my characters have a sense of self-preservation, and they care about themselves as much as they do care about other people. Um, but that doesn't mean they aren't hard on themselves sometimes. But they still love themselves in the sense that like they care about themselves enough to have some sort of integrity. Um, but I think in terms of like of the evolving definition of self-love, I think Eurisha's a great example. I won't go through everyone's examples because it's different for everyone. Like, some things are similar, but there are some notable differences that I cannot cover in 2 minutes. So I will just cherry pick one character and showcase what I mean by evolving sense of self-love. So Eurisha starts off as a very confident, arrogant character. And she definitely loves herself, and that in and of itself isn't the problem. Like, she starts off quite narcissistic, but even that itself is not the problem. It's how she treats other people. Um, she's very much a bitch at first, and she's not a nice person. She's not a kind person because she's not socialized to be kind. That's not an excuse, that's just a reason. But over time, as she learns to be a kinder person, she learns to be kind to other people, but she learns to be kinder to herself and love herself in a different way that isn't arrogance. It's like actual self love. Um, the time is over now, but I'll like conclude my thoughts on that just now. But at first, Yuri's definition of self love is just worship yourself and fuck everyone else. And over time, she learns to realize, like, no, I can embrace and love myself, but not at the cost of other people. We can all be better versions of ourselves. She starts off thinking she's already the shit. She's the hot shit, and she's the best. And she comes to learn over time, like, she's not the best, and that's okay. And you're never going to be the best. You can just always try to be better. And there's always room to improve. And that, in and of itself, you should love yourself for. You should love the person you're becoming. And that's why self love evolves for her, because she goes from being stuck in a self obsession phase for like self preservation reasons to just being like, yeah, I am just going to be the best version of myself I can be, and not the best version of what others want me to be. Just be the best version of myself that makes me happy, and be kinder to myself and to other people. And that's what self love ends up meaning for her. And I love her, and I love her redemption arc. She is. She's so baby girl. I love her. I'm going to squish her aggressively. I'm kidding, I'm not going to. That's just the cuteness aggression talking. But she's so baby girl. We love redemption arcs. And now for day 19, the main character's longest friendship is that I can answer that immediately. Issa is my main character, and Isabella's longest friendship, by far, Isabella Michaels' longest friendship ever is with Nadalia Hayden. They have been childhood best friends for as long as they can remember. I don't have an exact set like age of when they became friends, but like yet, but they've always been there for each other, and they always will be. They are besties, and we love them for it. And like, they are essentially like soul sisters, essentially. Um, And we love that for them. But yeah, that's like super easy to answer. It's Issa and Natty, like by far. Unless you count Issa and Josh, because they're cousins, so they've known each other since birth, but they're not always friends. Like, they are friends, but like, they wouldn't consider each other their best friends. Like, they're family, that's a different kind of friend. So yeah, Issa and Nadi. Izzy and Nadi, the longest, friendship in terms of main character. Longest friendship in, like, the entire story is Bran and Kaz, by far. They've been, like, they're pushing on, like, 20, 30, like, pushing on 30 years of being friends. Make of that what you will. Okay, now I can move my fairy. And we are finally... Where am I? There I am. I blend with the pink. We can finally move on to the 20s. Yay! We're so close, chat. Yippee! You love to see it. We're so close. Right, splendid. So, day 20, which was my friend Dean's birthday, so happy belated birthday to Demathy. National Love Your Pet Day. Free Friday or share your animal writing companions. Oh, we love pets. Aren't pets so good? Unfortunately, I don't have any established pets in my universe. I'm not saying that there's no pets, I just haven't decided on any yet. There will be pets, though. There will absolutely be pets. Like, I know Izzy and Joshua's grandma has a cat. I just haven't decided any details on that yet. Nadi was gonna have a pet cat. She still is gonna have a pet cat. But the origins of that cat, I won't go into, but I've changed the origins of the cat for ethical reasons. I won't go into any further than that. But there are pets. There are pets. If it's talking about, like, share your animal... Well, it says share your animal writing companions, so I'm guessing share your pets. Okay, let's share my pet. Let's find a picture of her. Let's find a picture of her. You know what? Instead of finding a picture to show on stream, I will put my pet as the thumbnail of this video. For National Love Your Pet Day, consult the thumbnail of this video on my YouTube, the VOD over at Lyrical Miracle 9608 on YouTube. The thumbnail is my pet rabbit Whisper. Well, our pet rabbit. She's not exclusively mine. My parents rescued her from our backyard on July 6th, 2024. She is a female Holland Lop rabbit. We do not have an exact age for her, but we figure at the time we rescued her, she was probably about a few months old. So we don't have an exact age or birthday for her, but I decided, for celebration reasons, to make her birthday February 29th. Leap Day. Bunny's Leap. And that is probably roughly around when she was born. She would have been born anywhere between, like, January and March that year. We're pretty sure on that. She was, like, born in the spring sometime. Like, very early spring. So I've decided that her birthday is Leap Day 2024. So she's about 2 years old. She's coming up to about 2 years old, if not already 2. And she's called Whisper. Wispa, like the chocolate bar, not like the verb of talking very quietly, not like the wolf from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, as much as we love her. It is a homonym, so which means it's pronounced exactly the same. At least in my accent it is anyway. But she's called Whisper, after the chocolate bar, because why not? And she's a very good girl, and she's very fluffy, and we love her. That is all on our animal writing companions. Thank you very much. Alright, so day 21. Scene or snippet with love. Why is love in air quotes? Oh, is it because, like, a text excerpt that mentions love? That's probably it. Well, I can't do that right now. Scene or snippet with love. Can't really do that, unfortunately, because this isn't a writing stream, this is a talking, yapping stream. So all I will say is that there are scenes with love, yes. There are scenes where characters kiss and even hold hands. Which, oh, you know what? That actually answers day 22 as well. Level of physical intimacy shown in your story. Already answered. Kissing and holding hands. Later on, and with certain characters, other stuff. There will be branch-off stories where there is mature content that is for older people. But that answers 21 and 22. And question 23 and 24 we will answer very quickly because I have a sudden emergency and need to go again, but that's the last two of the stream anyway. Character's dream date. Oh, you know what? No, I don't think I even have time to answer. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to, like, abruptly end the stream again. I am so sorry, everyone. Please forgive me. I just remembered I didn't stop the VOD. I don't think I stopped the VOD when I intentionally stopped the stream earlier. Or I might have done, I don't remember. But, oh, who's this? A Humane! Oh my god, sorry, I'm so sorry. I just saw this. Hi, Humane! I like that emote. It's very cute. But yeah, sorry that I have to suddenly go again. Chronic illness is a bitch. But I promise. Oh, I'm quite unlucky. That's okay. Humane, do not worry. Literally watch the space and come back in about... Oh my god, how long will I take? Come back in about half an hour. I think that's probably how long I'm going to take. Do better and get better. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I promise I will be back in about half an hour. We'll cover the last 2 days and then we'll raid out. But I'm so sorry for, like, the timing. And I'm sorry for leaving abruptly once again. I will see you all real soon. Take care, and I will catch you all in half hour. I'll be back if the notification remembers me. Gotcha, no problem. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, just for now, everyone. Bye-bye.